I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a new Bible journal process video for you. I'm going to be working with a new set from Kelly Bangs Creative for Illustrated Faith, and this is her 10 Commandments hexagon set. And so you can see it is so cute. It's perfect for making a tag book. This is it printed in its regular size. You have all of the numbers, which are just adorable. And then the 10 Commandments written out, which are just done so well. I love the colors that she picked. And then you have these empty hexagons that you can write journaling in, add them into your book. They are just perfect for making kind of a mini album for the 10 Commandments, and then a title card, which is super cute. Love all of these labels right here and the numbers. Just lots of good options with this set. I actually printed it out twice. I did the main set and then I printed it at 50%, so you can see the difference here. And I'm planning on using this one to make a micro tag book, and I'm going to use this paper clip for my tag book. So we will see how it goes. It's one of those times I have an idea in my head and I'm not totally sure how it will work in real life, and we'll just kind of experiment together. So I will put you all on fast forward and we'll see how it goes. Let's go. Step number one is to trim out all of these cuties. Sometimes I cut them out with my Cricut or Silhouette. Sometimes I fussy cut. If they are easy shapes like this, I kind of feel like it is faster for me to fussy cut than to create the Silhouette file or the Cricut file from scratch. So you guys will have to let me know, do you have like a threshold of sometimes you fussy cut, sometimes you don't? This one wasn't so bad. It didn't take me too long. I promise I won't make you watch me cut out all of these little hexies, but I do trim them all out. I'm keeping them all in my little trinket tray over there, and I liked these little half hexies that came along with the set, and I think those will be good on the Bible page that I'm planning on working on. I'm definitely going to be journaling in Exodus when Moses receives the 10 Commandments, and that is where my little mini tag book is going to go. Just using my standard adhesive, I am attaching the hexies that match. So the number on the front and then the actual commandment on the back. I keep double checking to make sure that they are lined up correctly, because I would hate to have it flipped all around. So lining those up, and you can see I'll just have them all right there. And then I have to go back and do some trimming because I did fussy cut these. They weren't perfect, because we all know that that's what happens, especially because I was cutting these first thing in the morning. We're talking 5:45 a.m. and had only had coffee. So all I had was caffeine in my system and I was a little shaky actually. So that's okay. I'm just trimming, making sure they are all nice and neat, and then I'll be able to move on to the next step of my tag paperclip. Next up for my paperclip tag ring is to punch holes. This is my We Are Memory Keepers tool. I believe it's called the Big Bite, and it's a grommet tool, and it has the hole punch in it. So there's two different sizes of grommets that it can insert, and two different sizes of hole punches. So I'm punching these small holes in each of the hexies, and then all you have to do is take a grommet and put it through the hole, use a different part of this tool, press it together, and it inserts that metal grommet for you. And it's kind of a cool way to add a little more flair to some of your hole punching, I guess, because I plan on putting this page in my illustrating Bible. I don't mind that it's going to be pretty chunky once it's in there, and this illustrating Bible that I'm working in is almost done. It's kind of on its last leg because it's getting so full, so it's okay for a little chunk. So you add in the silver grommet, you put it in the tool and press, and there you go. The grommet is inserted. So I will do that for each of the hexies, and then I will be inserting rings as the next step. Okay, I have started putting in rings. I'm just using pliers, and then the hexies will just go straight onto the paper clip. So I have the rings inserted, and now it's kind of a little dangly charm. Even though it's paper, it's still a cute little charm. And I will end up sliding those all onto the paper clip. The rings that I had on hand happened to be a little thick. They were a little bit temperamental to try to get in, and I kind of tore up my nails while I did it. So make sure you have rings that are flexible enough that you can work with. You don't need heavy duty ones for paper projects. I think these were definitely geared towards like some thicker jewelry and definitely would have been strong for holding on charms, but didn't need to be that strong for these hexies. So I have them all set, and then I'm going to pull out this jumbo paper clip. This is a 4-inch paper clip. It's from Tuesday Morning, I think. I'll see if I can find some on Amazon and link them below. I think they come in some pretty big sets, and this is a fun way to use them. These are always tempting to me when I see them, and so it was nice to come up with a way to actually use it. And I'm gonna just dangle all of these little 10 commandments off of there. I'll be able to flip them around and read them. I can flip them the other direction, have the numbers on top or have the words on top. It's kind of just a fun way to have all those 10 commandments and a fun charm for my Bible. So all 10 in there, and then I will be able to start actually working on the page that they're going to go on. Okay, this was the big test. Would it actually go on the page? And I had to shift it around a little bit, and I'll be honest, it's a pretty chunky charm, and so you're not going to want to take this on and off very much because I think you might accidentally tear your Bible page. So I tested it on, took it off because I knew I wanted to work on the background, and then I'll put it on just one more time, and I will leave it be at that point. I have pulled out a background stamp. This one is from By the Well for God. I will make sure to link it below. It is this very cool map of Israel from Jesus's time, and I just thought the map was a cool background as you know, you're following Moses and the Exodus out of Egypt. I thought that was very appropriate. So I am inking it up with a couple of different colors of Distress Oxide inks just to provide a little bit of a background. A lot of this ends up getting covered up, and that's fine. No big deal. I pulled out from the big hexie set, so remember I printed it out in 2 different sizes. So from the big size, I pulled out the title card, the 10 commandments, because I want that to be right in the middle of my page, and then the paper clip will kind of rest over the top. But I wanted it to have a little bit more of a worn look, so my favorite technique for that is to just take the Distress Oxide ink and kind of ink up the edges, being a little bit sloppy, letting the ink kind of go wherever, and I feel like it just gives it a little bit more of an interesting look. So that's one of my go-to techniques for a lot of these printables. Now I'm getting the chance to play with a few of the spare pieces that I had from the mini set that I cut out, and I'm just adding those in kind of a random pattern form just to bring up some color, cover up a little bit of the stamping. Some of it's going to get covered up because of where my paper clip is going to be, but I still liked it on there. And then I'm actually going to be able to take that word remember. This is some of the word art that was in the set, and it's going to live right in the middle of the paper clip. So I'm just getting it all adjusted. You can see, I'm like, okay, don't mess with it anymore. I like the word remember. I'll use the same technique with the antique linen Distress Oxide to ink up the edges. Sorry, got off camera right there. So inking up the edges, as you can see, a little bit trickier on the smaller piece, but that's okay. And I like it looking just a little bit sloppy because I think it's just more interesting that way. It's how I like it. So, and then I will put that right in the middle of that paper clip just to kind of bring the focus. The 10 commandments I feel like are something that we can gloss over because it seems obvious. Thou shalt not murder is an obvious one, but there's a lot we can dive into and really reflect on. So I think taking some time to look through the 10 commandments and maybe taking some time to journal how they apply to your life right now, I think is an important thing that you can certainly do. So I have a couple of the other spare pieces that I will use as my tab here at the top. So I'm layering that one right there, trying to figure out, do I want to cut it off? And I end up saying yes. So I put that in, and then I will just trim it off. And now I'm going to take my attention towards the bottom of my page. This is where I had a big oops. I was writing my prayer journaling and I was being bold and writing it straight up in pen, and of course I blatantly misspelled an obvious word. So I ended up deciding I needed to cover it up. So I went back to the main kit in the full size, and they had those cute hexes that were blank in the middle, which was perfect. So I cut one of them in half and was able to cover up my mistake and then have a place for journaling. And then I ended up just filling in another little slot with one of those hexes. So it's an interesting pattern that I ended up with. I didn't intend to have that larger hexie at the bottom for journaling, but that's how it ended up. Sometimes you have mistakes, and I'm always glad that I have printables and ways that I can work around them. And in my journaling, I am just praying to God, thanking Him for His laws, saying that they are good and right and true. And I prayed, thank you for sending your Son to redeem us, as we are all sinners. And that is the main thing that the laws taught us. We all fall short of the glory of God. So you'll see me kind of mess around with some of the other pieces, thinking that I will incorporate them, and then I end up not doing it. I decided it was too much already. So this page is done. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I always link all of the supplies down below in the description box, including the link to this new set from Kelly Bangs, so make sure to check that out as well. I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.